everyone, welcome back to our channel Academy of Internal Audit. So in our previous lecture we discussed about the criminal case. Today we are going to discuss about the civil case. What are the different scenarios when the civil case can be filed against a person, right? So in the criminal case we understood about whenever society is getting impacted, a criminal case will be filed against a person. But what if the society is not getting impacted? Means this is a dispute between two persons. This is a dispute between two brothers. This is a dispute between employer and employee, or a company or a vendor, a company with its suppliers, or company with its customers also. So if there is not any criminal activity is involved, then the criminal case will not be filed, but civil case will be filed. So we have to understand what is the civil case. So basic understanding is the situation when there is whenever society is not getting impacted, whenever any criminal activity is not involved, in that case civil case will be filed. So in the previous video we understood that how the criminal case can be filed, and we had taken an example that a person has hit you from the behind with the malicious intent, maybe with the intent to murder you or so, right? So in this situation, what if it was an accident? So if it was an accident, there was not any malicious intent, hence there was not any criminal activity involved. So both of you were just both of you were driving your vehicle, and your vehicles hit each other. So at this point of time, there is no malicious intent is involved. So in that situation, a civil case may be filed, right? But civil case, why the civil case will be filed? Either both of you can just agree to a solution and then can let it off, or if you feel that there is some damages which has happened to your car and you want to seek some compensation, some recovery of your damages from the other person, then you can file a civil case to the court, right? One more thing we understood in the criminal case is that whenever you wish to file a criminal case, you have to first approach to the government. Government will investigate the matter, preliminary investigation they will do, and then they will take you to the court for filing the criminal case. While in the civil case it is not the situation. If you feel any kind of the dispute is there, you can directly go to the court and file a civil case. So these are the some of the basic points which we have to understand about the civil case, right? So civil case is a case which is brought by the individual. It may be individual, may be company, and sometimes may be by the government. For example, some government agency has some dispute with their customer, vendors, employees. They can also file a civil case, right? So it is a case which is filed by the, we can say, by the individuals, and the government involvement is not is there, right? So you don't need to go approach to the government first to file a civil case. You can directly go and file a civil case. So whenever we say about the civil case, actually it can be divided into the two different ways. So first thing we have understood when we say about the cases, so one can be the criminal case, and second can be the civil case. Now the civil case can also be because of the two reasons. One is, as I mentioned, there is some contract between two persons. For example, there is contract between two persons, like an employer and employee are also bounded by the employment contract, right? A customer and a company is also bounded by their contract, or a vendor or the vendor and the company is also bounded by their any kind of the buyer agreement, or maybe by the any kind of purchase order, right? So if there is the contract is there, so it is primarily divided into the two things. Number one, when there is a contract, and second thing is other than contract, because we will call it OTC, other than contract. So let's take an example of contract. So obviously when there is the dispute between two parties and there was some contract, and one or both of the parties had not adhered to the contract terms, and it resulted into the breach of the contract. So one of the party or both of the party can approach to the court and seek certain kind of the solution. So we call it contract actions. What if there was no contract between two? Like I give an example. Both of you were driving your vehicle on the road, and your cars hit each other. Then there was no contract, but yes, there was the responsibility which a person was supposed to fulfill. Like you are feeling that he has not drove the vehicle in the right way. He might have taken the wrong turn, he might have overspeeded it, or maybe that kind of situation. So at that point of time, the other person, right, was carrying certain responsibility which he has not fulfilled, hence this accident happened, and you are claiming for the damages, you are claiming for the recovery of the damages to your car or to yourself or the other person who was sitting in the car, right? So one is because of the contract, second is other than the contract, when there is no contract but yes. So there are certain conditions which we should understand when we say about the other than contract. Number one, so there are certain things which needs to be proved in the court. Number one, a party owes a duty. So the other person who hit your car may not be because of the malicious intent, but because of the overspeeding or unnecessarily overtaking or so. So that person owes a duty. He was supposed to drive the vehicle in the right manner with the proper traffic rules, norms and everything, right? He owes a duty to drive the vehicle in a right manner. Second thing, the party breaches that duty. The duty that he was supposed to drive the vehicle in a right manner, in an appropriate manner, which he has breaches, right? Because he breaches the duty, hence this accident happened. So the second condition is the breaches of duty. Third point is it result into certain damages. It is also important. Number one, a party may be having some duty. Second, he might have breached that duty, but because of breaching of that duty, no damages has happened to you. So until unless there is some damages, there is no sense of having a case in place, right? So third point is very important, that the breaches resulted into certain damages, or we can say breaches result into losses. So that breach should result into the losses. If there is any loss happened, any kind of the damages has happened, then you can proceed to the court and then seek for that recovery of that damages, recovery of that loss. So these are the three conditions which should be fulfilled when we say about the other than contractual action. So number one, contractual action. Number two, other than contractual actions. Clear? So when we say about this other than contractual actions, I can give you another example. For example, you have gone to a restaurant and you have ordered something, right? For example, you have ordered a pizza, and in the pizza there is some mosquitoes, right? So you see, when the moment you get your order, you are happy to have it, but the moment you are trying to have it, you found that there is a mosquito in the pizza. So these kind of situations will happen into the other than contract. You and that party doesn't have any contract, you and the restaurant doesn't have any contract, but yes, the restaurant has certain duty to fulfill, right? If you have ordered them, you have paid for that pizza, the restaurant was supposed to take his duty, was supposed to provide you the pizza in the right manner, but the restaurant breaches that duty, it has their breaches. Now third point, it resulted into the damages. Now in this point, the party, the moment you found the pizza, before consuming that pizza, you notice that mosquito. Then you have not consumed it. Before consuming it, you notice there is some mosquitoes, and you called the restaurant, and then you inform them there is some mosquitoes. They have happily taken it, they have replaced it, they may have refunded your money, they have given you free of cost also, whatever it is, right? So until unless you consumed that, there was no result, it doesn't result into the damages. So you have not consumed it, hence there was no damages. So third condition is not fulfilled here, and there is no sense of filing a civil case to the court, right? If you consumed it and it impacts your health, because of that there is or there can be any medical problem which you may foresee, right? At that point of the time, the third point is also satisfied, you can approach to the court and file a civil case, right? But there is another situation. For example, the moment you went to the restaurant, you went with your boyfriend or girlfriend, right? You ordered the pizza, and in the moment you were consuming it, you found that there is mosquitoes. So at that point, even if any one of you have not consumed it, you may claim that it has resulted into the damages to my reputation. राइट भाई, बड़ी मुश्किल से ऑप्शन मिला है आज लेके आने का रेस्टोरेंट में, आज ही आपने स्पॉइल कर दिया. राइट, सो दैट कैन ऑल्सो बी ट्रीटेड एज रिजल्टेड इनटू द डैमेजेस. So you can claim there, right, that because of this activity my reputation is damaged and hence I am filing a civil case and I am expecting certain kind of the compensation for this kind of loss. So this can be scenario. So ultimately you have to prove how their breach of duty has resulted into the damages to you, right? So this is what we have understood in the this point, that is called the other than contractual action. So in brief we can say, when we say about this, so there can be cases. When we say about the cases, one can be criminal case, second can be civil case. Civil case can be further divided into the two forms. One is contract actions, second is other than contract actions. And in this other than contract actions are also, this is what again a new thing we have to understand. The moment we say about the other than contract action, here we have to understand the other than contract actions are termed as two different ways in the different jurisdictions. So if it is the common law jurisdiction, if you are living in the common law jurisdiction, and second can be you may be living into the civil law jurisdiction, right? Civil law jurisdiction. So if you are living in the common law jurisdiction, this kind of action is known as civil wrong. We call it civil wrong. Civil wrong. So the upper category was the civil action. Civil actions are divided into the two forms: contractual, other than contractual. Other than contractuals in common law jurisdiction are known as civil wrong, while the same kind of action in civil law jurisdiction, it is known as delict action. It is known as delict action, right? Delict wrong or delict action, right? So in the common law it is known as civil wrong, and in the civil law it is known as delict action, right? So this is what I have tried to explain in this video about the civil cases. So criminal cases, civil cases, contractual action or out of other than contractual action. If out of contractual action, that is called contract action. If it is other than contractual action, it is further divided into the two forms. If we are living into the common law jurisdiction, it is known as civil wrong. If we are living into the civil law jurisdiction, it is known as delict action. So one point we have understood is civil wrong and delict action both are the same thing, right? Both are the other than contractual obligations, right? It is not because of contract. Other than contract, both of these things are same, but the name is different depending upon the jurisdiction in which we are living or in which we are going to file the case, right? Now the question is, what is common law jurisdiction and what is civil law jurisdiction? So in the upcoming video we will be touching upon these points. What is when it is known as that we are living into the common law jurisdiction or we are living into the civil law jurisdiction. So in the upcoming video we will be talking about these 2 points. I hope you have understood this point called civil case, and I request you to like this video and subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icons to get notification about the upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching. See you again. Bye bye.